Have you ever wondered why certain conflicts in your relationships seem to repeat endlessly, like a song stuck on loop? Or why your partner's smallest habits can ignite emotions that feel wildly out of proportion? The answer lies in a hidden part of yourself, one you may not even know exists. This is the shadow self, a concept introduced by Carl Jung that holds the key to understanding our deepest struggles and unlocking healthier, more fulfilling relationships. By exploring this mysterious aspect of our psyche, we can transform our connections, turning pain into growth and conflict into intimacy. Let's dive into the unseen forces that shape our love lives and discover how embracing them can change everything. The shadow self, a cornerstone of Carl Gustav Jung's psychological framework, is the unconscious realm of our personality, where we store repressed desires, unacknowledged emotions, and traits we deem unacceptable. Picture it as a locked attic in your mind, filled with parts of yourself you've hidden away, some because they clash with who you think you should be, others because society told you they don't belong. Jung called it the dark side of the psyche, but this isn't about evil or malice. The shadow is simply the part of you that remains unseen, influencing your thoughts, actions, and relationships in ways you may not consciously recognize. The shadow begins forming in childhood, shaped by the interplay of societal expectations, personal experiences, and unresolved conflicts. As children, we learn quickly what's acceptable. A smile gets praise, while a tantrum earns disapproval. Emotions like anger, sadness, or even excessive ambition may be pushed into the shadow if we're taught they're inappropriate. Cultural norms, family dynamics, and societal pressures further sculpt this hidden self. For example, a child raised in a stoic household might suppress vulnerability, while one in a highly competitive environment might bury their compassion. Traumatic experiences, rejection, loss, or failure add layers to the shadow, as do unresolved conflicts like lingering feelings of inadequacy or shame. Over time, these suppressed elements form a complex, often contradictory reservoir of thoughts, impulses, and emotions that operate beneath the surface. Yet, the shadow is not purely negative. While it often holds traits we view as flaws, jealousy, greed, cowardice, or selfishness, it can also contain positive qualities we've disowned, like creativity, assertiveness, or sensitivity, if these were discouraged in our upbringing. This duality makes the shadow both a source of destruction and a wellspring of growth. When ignored, it can manifest in self-sabotaging behaviors, irrational reactions, or strained relationships, like snapping at a loved one for no apparent reason. But when embraced, it becomes a catalyst for transformation, offering profound insights into our true nature and untapped potential. Confronting the shadow requires courage, as it means facing parts of ourselves we've spent a lifetime avoiding. Yet this journey is essential for psychological wholeness and building authentic, resilient relationships. Romantic relationships are a crucible where the shadow self comes alive, revealing its influence in ways that are both subtle and profound. Intimacy demands vulnerability, trust, and emotional openness, which naturally stir the hidden currents of our unconscious. The shadow manifests in recurring unhealthy patterns, codependency, emotional avoidance, chronic criticism, or passive aggressiveness, that erode connection and trust. For instance, someone who represses their need for independence may be drawn to controlling partners, only to feel stifled and resentful later. These patterns aren't random. They stem from the shadow's unacknowledged desires, fears, insecurities, and unresolved wounds, which are activated by the closeness and intensity of romantic bonds. Partners often act as mirrors, reflecting the parts of our shadow we've buried. A casual remark or behavior from a partner can trigger intense reactions, revealing hidden sensitivities. This mirroring is most evident in shadow projection, where we unconsciously attribute our disowned traits to our partner, blaming them for qualities we refuse to see in ourselves. For example, someone who denies their own anger may accuse their partner of being overly aggressive, even when the partner's tone is neutral. This projection creates a vicious cycle of resentment, defensiveness, and blame, as each partner becomes a target for the other's inner struggles. The result is a distorted reality where conflicts escalate, communication breaks down, and genuine connection becomes elusive. The shadow also drives recurring conflicts that seem to haunt relationships like ghosts. Unresolved fears, such as abandonment, rejection, or betrayal, can manifest as clinginess, emotional withdrawal, or hypervigilance, sparking arguments that feel oddly familiar. Insecurities buried in the shadow, like feelings of unworthiness or inadequacy, may lead one partner to seek constant reassurance, overwhelming the other and creating tension. A simple disagreement about household chores might explode into a full-blown fight if it triggers a hidden fear of being unvalued. These unconscious dynamics cause misunderstandings, as partners react not to the present moment, but to the echoes of their inner wounds. Left unchecked, the shadow can erode trust, intimacy, and joy, turning love into a battleground of unspoken grievances and emotional distance. But the shadow's influence isn't doomed to be destructive. Relationships offer a unique opportunity to confront and integrate these hidden aspects, transforming challenges into pathways for growth. When partners approach their shadow with curiosity and compassion, they can turn conflict into understanding, blame into empathy. By recognizing how their unconscious traits shape their interactions, couples can break free from cycles of dysfunction, fostering deeper trust and intimacy. Relationships become a sacred space for mutual evolution, where the shadow's revelations pave the way for stronger, more authentic connections. Recognizing the shadow self is the first step toward personal growth and healthier relationships, and it begins with cultivating deep self-awareness through honest, courageous introspection. Emotional triggers. Those moments when we react disproportionately to a situation offer a window into the shadow. For example, if a partner's comment about our work ethic sparks intense anger or shame, it may reveal a hidden insecurity about our competence. Recurring patterns in relationships, such as repeatedly attracting emotionally unavailable partners or sabotaging closeness with defensiveness, also point to the shadow's influence. Negative thought patterns, like chronic self-criticism, irrational fears, or persistent guilt, further illuminate the unconscious beliefs and emotions driving our behavior. Several practical techniques can help uncover and manage the shadow self. Shadow work, a practice rooted in Jungian psychology, involves deliberately engaging with the unconscious through structured exercises. Journaling is a powerful and accessible tool for this purpose. Prompts like, "What traits in others irritate me the most, and why do they bother me?" Or, "What do I fear others will discover about me?" can uncover suppressed qualities we've projected or buried. Therapy, particularly psychodynamic, Jungian, or cognitive behavioral approaches, provides a safe, guided space to explore the unconscious with professional support. Creative outlets, such as painting, poetry, or music, allow us to express repressed emotions in nonverbal ways, bypassing the defenses of the conscious mind. Mindfulness practices, like meditation, yoga, or breathwork, promote emotional regulation and self-acceptance by fostering a non-judgmental awareness of our thoughts and feelings. Creating a safe and supportive environment for shadow exploration is crucial, both individually and within relationships. On a personal level, this means cultivating self-compassion and suspending self-criticism as we confront uncomfortable truths. Practices like positive self-talk or affirmations can help soften the harsh inner critic that often guards the shadow. In relationships, open, honest, and vulnerable communication is essential. Couples can foster mutual understanding by sharing their shadow discoveries without fear of judgment. For example, admitting, "I realize I get defensive when you're late because it triggers my fear of being unimportant," invites empathy and dialogue rather than conflict. Establishing clear boundaries and practicing active listening, where each partner feels truly heard and validated, creates a relational space where vulnerability is honored. This safety allows both individuals to explore their shadows without fear of rejection, transforming potential conflicts into opportunities for connection. Managing the shadow is not about eliminating it, but about bringing it into conscious awareness, where it can be understood and integrated. This process reduces the shadow's power to control our actions unconsciously, allowing us to respond to situations with greater clarity, intention, and emotional resilience. It's a lifelong journey that requires patience, persistence, and kindness toward oneself, as the shadow is deeply rooted and often resists exposure. Yet, with consistent effort, individuals can develop a deeper understanding of themselves and their relationships, laying the foundation for healthier, more authentic connections. Integrating the shadow self is a transformative journey that unlocks profound personal growth, emotional maturity, and the potential for deeply fulfilling relationships. Integration doesn't mean indulging in harmful behaviors or excusing destructive actions. It involves accepting all parts of ourselves, flaws, strengths, vulnerabilities, and aspirations, with compassion and honesty. By bringing the shadow into the light of consciousness, we reclaim the energy spent suppressing it, redirecting it toward self-improvement, creativity, and authentic living. This process fosters a sense of psychological wholeness, as we no longer split our identity into good and bad parts, but embrace our full, complex humanity. One of the greatest gifts of shadow integration is radical self-acceptance. When we acknowledge our imperfections, whether it's a tendency toward jealousy, anger, or self-doubt, we release the shame and guilt that keep us trapped in self-sabotaging patterns. For example, recognizing a propensity for envy allows us to channel it constructively, perhaps by using it as motivation to pursue our goals, rather than letting it fester into resentment. This self-acceptance extends outward, cultivating empathy and compassion for others. By understanding our own struggles and vulnerabilities, we become less judgmental of our partner's flaws, seeing them as fellow humans navigating their own shadows. This shift reduces conflict and fosters a deeper sense of connection, as both partners feel accepted for their authentic selves. Shadow integration also deepens self-understanding, providing clarity about our needs, desires, boundaries, and motivations. As we uncover the unconscious forces driving our behavior, we gain insight into why we act the way we do, particularly in relationships. This awareness empowers us to communicate with greater authenticity and intention, reducing misunderstandings and fostering mutual respect. For instance, someone who integrates their fear of abandonment may learn to express their need for reassurance calmly and directly, rather than resorting to clinginess or accusations. This clarity strengthens relational bonds, creating a foundation of trust, vulnerability, and openness that allows love to flourish. The transformative power of shadow integration lies in its ability to break entrenched cycles of dysfunction. By confronting and working through unconscious patterns, we free ourselves from repetitive behaviors that undermine our happiness and relationships. Someone who continually sabotages closeness out of a fear of vulnerability may, through shadow work, learn to embrace intimacy, paving the way for deeper, more stable connections. Couples who engage in this process together can transform their relationship into a powerful space for mutual growth, where challenges become opportunities to learn, heal, and connect. Integrated individuals bring authenticity, resilience, and emotional intelligence to their partnerships, creating bonds that are vibrant, dynamic, and deeply fulfilling. Moreover, shadow integration enhances our capacity for love, both for ourselves and others. When we accept our whole selves, we can love others more fully without projecting our insecurities or expecting them to fill our inner voids. This leads to relationships rooted in mutual respect, interdependence, and genuine appreciation, rather than neediness, control, or dependency. Partners who have integrated their shadows are better equipped to navigate life's inevitable challenges together, approaching conflicts with curiosity, collaboration, and a shared commitment to growth. These relationships become a source of joy, strength, and transformation, reflecting the beauty of two whole individuals coming together in love. The shadow self, as envisioned by Carl Jung, is a profound and multifaceted force that shapes our lives and relationships in ways we often fail to see. Born from the interplay of societal conditioning, personal experiences, and unresolved conflicts, the shadow harbors our repressed traits, emotions, and desires, influencing our behaviors in subtle yet powerful ways. In romantic relationships, it manifests through unhealthy patterns, shadow projections, and recurring conflicts. But it also holds the potential for transformative growth when brought into conscious awareness. By embracing this hidden part of ourselves, we can unlock a deeper understanding of who we are and how we love. Self-awareness is the cornerstone of managing the shadow, achieved through introspection, shadow work, therapy, and practices that foster emotional clarity and self-compassion. By creating safe spaces for exploration, both individually and within relationships, individuals and couples can confront their unconscious traits with courage and empathy, turning conflict into opportunities for understanding and connection. Integrating the shadow leads to radical self-acceptance, emotional maturity, and the breaking of dysfunctional cycles, paving the way for authentic, fulfilling relationships. The journey of shadow integration is not easy. It demands vulnerability, persistence, and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths. Yet, its rewards are immeasurable. By embracing all parts of ourselves, light and dark, strengths and flaws, we unlock the potential for a richer, more authentic life and deeper, more meaningful connections with others. I invite you to embark on this transformative path, using tools like journaling, mindfulness, or therapy to explore your own shadow self. For those eager to dive deeper, resources like Carl Jung's Ion, researches into the phenomenology of the self, Robert A. Johnson's Owning Your Own Shadow, or workshops on Jungian psychology offer invaluable insights. Take the first step today and discover the power of your shadow to transform your relationships and your life. Your heart, your soul, and your loved ones deserve nothing less.